I am here today with author Troy Gagne. He is the author of the newly released book, Jesus and Me. Thank you so much, Troy, for joining us today. And why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about your book?
So my new book, Jesus and Me, is a book of poetry, and it's some poetry that I've put together over the years. And it talks a little bit about nature. There's a few that have some laughter in it, kind of life's trials, and most of all, my faith. So kind of touches on a little bit of everything and different struggles that people have in life, and hopefully it's something that people will be able to understand, and it'll touch them in different ways.
That's wonderful. And what was kind of the inspiration? Obviously, this is a book of poetry and it was over time that you created this, but what was kind of the inspiration behind putting pen to paper to these thoughts, to these poems, and then getting them published as well?
So there's kind of a quick answer and a little bit longer answer, but I started writing in high school, and I wrote for several years, just different things, and a lot of what I found was, if I had to go to a funeral and somebody that was special to us or whatever, I found that I could express myself a little better writing it down in poetry. And so I started doing things like that, and I started getting feedback from people on that. And as I started putting poems together and things like that, I have 3 kids, and I thought, I got all these notebooks full of poems and things like that, and I really wanted them to have a copy of it, because you never know what's going to happen. Life's short, but I wanted something for them just to remember me by while I'm alive and then after I'm gone. So that was kind of the first inspiration. And then kind of the second inspiration is, as I was going through, I just found that talking to people and sitting and listening to them, some of the poems that are in here, they're some of my testimony and things that I've struggled with, but they're also struggles that other people have had, whether it's dealing with grief. There's a few that are cancer, just someone passing away and just trying to deal with it, or struggling in your faith, things like that. All things that I've been through, but I know other people have gone through. But then I also I love music, so music is kind of where this whole thing started. From the time I was a little kid, I started studying lyrics and things like that, and basically a song is a poem that somebody put music to. And I'm not super musically inclined. I have a good ear, and I can tell you when there's a good song and things like that. But so one of my things that I would like to do eventually is get maybe some of these poems put to music if I find the right person that I could collaborate with. But I could put it in a poem, and I could write it down on a piece of paper, and people would understand. And one of my inspirations from when I was a kid was Shel Silverstein. I loved his kids' books. And music-wise, it was Hank Williams. And I've always studied his lyrics. And the one thing that I liked about his lyrics and Shel Silverstein's was they kept it simple. They weren't super deep. So most of my writings are fairly simple. You don't have to dig real deep into finding out what I'm talking about. And I find that if you kind of keep it that way, people gravitate toward it, and they understand it a little better. So
Well, what an amazing story to have this thing that you tapped into at a very young age, such as poetry, and then you have continued that throughout your life. And what a great testament to give to your children, and also just to let people read about your life and other people's lives, be able to resonate with that. Is there anything else that you would like to mention to the audience today? Tell them a little bit about, some of the things that they'll read inside the book.
Yeah. One thing that people tend to struggle with, and I know I have, and with, the last couple of years with the pandemic and everything, the pandemic kind of gave us all a time to sit back and just kind of look at life, and you couldn't talk to people, you couldn't gather with people and things like that. So I have some poems in there, but I also sat and I started thinking about dreams. A lot of people go through life and they have dreams as a kid and things that they want to do. And then as they get older and life happens, things happen, they get a job or whatever. They get stuck in a job that maybe they don't care for or things like that. And I just wanted to kind of show, I'm getting older. I just turned 50 this year. So it was it was actually a hard birthday for me. But anyway, I just wanted people to realize that, you can still dream, even though you're in your late 20s, early 30s, 40s. And me, I'm 50 and this book just got released. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter, what you're going through. You can still chase your dreams and do things. There's a lot of people out there that when you talk about your dreams and what you want to do or aspects in life that you have, they want to be the downer, and they want to tell you can't do it. I like to call them the vampires. They kind of suck the life out of you. And surround yourself with people that are supportive of you, people that I've had several people during this whole process and before and I've tried for a couple of years to try to get this book out, and things just didn't pan out. And I ended up with Christian Faith Publishing, and they were very supportive. I have people around me, but I had people talking me into, when are you going to get this book out? When are you going to get this book out? And I just kept dragging my feet, and it was kind of in the back of my mind. It's like, it's never going to happen. But if you put your mind to something and you do it, you can do anything you want, and it doesn't matter how old you are. Don't let somebody stop you from doing your dreams. If you hit a couple dead ends while you're looking to do your dreams and things like that, you just have to keep in mind that it's not always on the first time that you're going to succeed on things. And I'm just hoping that people find that inspiration in this book. One thing that's helped me is, I don't do well in public speaking. I don't do I'm a little nervous here in this interview, but I decided during the whole pandemic thing that I was just going to start saying yes. So if people ask me to do something, whether it's get up in front of somebody and speak, whether it's at a funeral, that I was just going to say yes. And I said earlier that I was a big Hank Williams fan, and every year since 2019, I've been going down to Montgomery, Alabama, to the museum down there. And I've made several friends down there, and Beth at the Hank Williams Museum asked me to write a poem for one of the calendars, which is also in the book, and it's called The Blue Cadillac. And she asked me to share that, but then she asked me when I got down there to stand up at the grave and read it in front of everybody. And I just said yes. And it turned into a thing where every year now I go down there and I'm reading a poem. I'm doing stuff with them. And it's, I never dreamed in a million years that I would get to do those kind of things. And it's all just because I said yes. And so I'm working on a couple of projects with her down there, and it's been an exciting time. This is the 100th birthday this year, and for the last couple of years, there's a children's book that she wanted to put out, so that's the project that we're working on together. So it's just saying yes, stepping out, have faith, and I believe everybody has a redemption story, no matter what you've done, and your testimony could be somebody's redemption story. So this is kind of my testimony, and hopefully somebody finds some redemption to it.
Troy, how inspiring. And we cannot wait to see what else is to come for you and with you. Once again, audience, Troy's book is out now. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple iTunes. It comes in paperback and ebook versions. The title, once again, is Jesus and Me. Thank you so much, Troy, for joining us today.
Thank you.